So autism is a complex neurobehavioral conditions that includes impairments in social interactions and in developmental language and communication skills. Combined with rigid, it's repetitive behaviors.
Because of the ranges of symptoms, this condition is now called Autism Spectrum Disorder. ASD ranges in severity from a handicap that somewhat limits an ordinary life to a devastating disability that may require institutional care.
People suffering from autism are usually looked down upon by the society, and they are viewed as a burden that has to be taken care of. So, we met with Mr Adli, the founder of the Autism Cafe Project, to see what they are doing to fight against this stigma.
The project stands on 3 pillars: awareness, acceptance, and empowerment. So when we do project with organization, it has to have these 3 elements. One, we're talking about awareness. You create awareness, you give talks, you give awareness. Acceptance. We always do this. When we have a talking session to the public or to the staffs, we always request their involvement. How? We set up a bazaar for them actually to work, to sell their product. So when you do that, we get their staffs to work together with them. When you work with them, you understand them and you can see, hey, they can do this. So that is acceptance. The third one is empowerment. Empowerment meaning we have created a small businessman out of them. You don't give them money. Yeah, we don't give them money, but we give them opportunity. So the whole program is about that. If you do this approach, you're actually helping their future. So there's a huge difference there.
Besides the cafe and the catering business, do you explore any other types of...
Oh yes. There are 2 layers of project that we have here under Autism Cafe Project. One is the cafe, which deals with F&B. Now, the F&B side, we have catering. So, catering is our bread and butter for this project. The business model that we created doesn't rely on donation, so we work. We want them to work. So the priority is them. So what we did is we do catering. When you do catering, let's say a company cater us, we bring the boys out. Now, when you bring the boys out, you actually get them to socialize outside of their comfort zone. So they'll be meeting new people, they will be talking to others. So the social skill will be there later, not now, but sooner or later the social skill will come out. So that is the reason why we do catering. So we can bring them out and meet people and they can earn their own money. So it's not about the money, it's about the boys. And in the long run, it's better for us to stand on our own. We have products like bracelet, handicraft. I need to expand his portfolio basically, So he have a more fulfilling life, I would say. So I knew he loved repetitious work. So what am I going to do? And I need to actually enhance his fine motor skills. So I thought of that bracelet, the beads bracelet, So because when you do beads bracelet, you actually picked up using your fine motor skill. So now he's able. We have a meeting once a month. We get boys to actually come over here and start doing the bracelet and all, and it helps. The interaction will be there. We have volunteers to come in and help them. So it becomes more on a community get together. So it will benefit them. It would definitely benefit them. We have sold this. He made it about last 4 months. We managed to sell about almost 5,000 ringgit. So, and we also have, those who can't make it, those who stays in Rawang, in Johor, whatnot, they don't have an outlet to actually bring their boys out. So what we did was, we tell the parents, okay, fine. If you can't come here, can you do something from your house? We have one boy, Arif, who is in Rawang. The mother loves to bake. So we get Arif to produce tarts. Send it over here, we sell it for them. So you're creating another layer of workers there.
Do you give that to the markets?
That's the plan. Later we'll be online, inshallah, within next month, I hope. At the moment, we have our own bazaar. We move once a month. We call it ACP Autism Youth Bazaar. We create that. once a month, they can sell it on their own and they get money out of it. So we're creating a layer of simple autistic youth entrepreneurs.
Of course, not just anyone can work at the cafe, so we asked Mr. Adli about the cafe's recruitment and training process.
Practical training, it's not theoretical. This is not about theory or not, this is more on practical, yeah, on real stuff, you know. So what we did was, number one, when we actually employ staff to work over here, one, we need to know everything about them. You know, what are they like, what are their dislike, what triggers their meltdown, what helps them to actually improve them to be a better person. We got to know everything. If there's any issues of lapses of, let's say, health issues or not, we need to know everything. So from there, we know that his strength and his weakness. So we leverage on their strength. So we created a portfolio of jobs for them, you know. Let's say a good example is my son. He loves water, he loves repetitious work. So we get him to do this, to wash the dishes. If you do something that you like, you will excel. We had one boy who loved cleanliness, you know. So we get him to to mop the floor, wipe the table and all. So we train them, not in theoretical sense, we do on the spot. But before we absorb them working here, we actually give it a trial. So we knew that he's okay, you know. You can actually feel that he's okay or he's not okay. We had one boy who came about 2 weeks ago, very intelligent, follow instruction, non-verbal, but follow instruction, everything was to the T. But if he doesn't get something that he wanted, there'll be an issue. So we couldn't take him. Why? Because, you know, dealing here, we're talking about boiling water, you're talking about knife, you're talking about fork. At any case, we mitigate this issue of safety earlier. If we take him, at one point he doesn't get what he wants, you know, you have knives here. I'm not saying that he will stab us, but that's its possibility, so we don't. Safety is number one.
So not everyone is suitable for this kind of
No, not everybody is suitable. You know, as I said, we focus on the midpoint, but the midpoint that can follow instruction and have no issues of us telling them to do this and that, you know. Because if there is resistance, there'll be an issue afterwards, so we can't.
Considering how much effort is being put into the project, there had to be some incentive. So we asked Mr. Adli what his motivations were.
I have a son. My son is Lukman. He's 19 now. Why I set up this is my concern of his future, basically. I'm still around. I can take care of him, you know. So we'll die one day. That's life. You know, you're born and you'll die one day. So when I'm not around, what's going to happen to him? So that's the worry. The most worrying thought in my mind. He has a very limited intelligence, so-called, yeah? He's not intelligent as a normal person, he's not. So finding jobs for him is almost impossible. No, I put it correctly, it's impossible. Nobody will hire him. You know, I have to be honest with that. So when that thought came in, so what am I going to do? Am I going to just leave it as it is? So my option is, as much as I can, I have to get him to be independent. But as I said, finding jobs for him is almost impossible. It's impossible. So rather than wait, I created one for him. It's for him basically when we started this. But having said that, when I did this, yeah, it is for him, but we expanded it to others in similar boat as I am, you know. So yeah, we started off because of that, because of him. Because of him, I'm glad the project has taken off and it has been widely accepted and it has benefited many of his friends also.
Unlike many other organizations, the Autism Cafe Project puts a strong emphasis on being self-reliant.
We are not NGO. To be clear, we're not NGO. We are a social enterprise and we are certified by MAGIC. So it's not about, when we talk about NGO, you rely on donation. What we do as a social enterprise, it's business and looking after the social cause.
We also discussed the trend of other traditional corporations employing individuals with autism.
The employers now tend to actually take those who are in the intelligent side, you know, the higher intelligence, the highly functional autism. But as I said again, so autism is a spectrum. So what about the one that the midpoint and severe?
But do you think by doing this it can help the severe and the middle?
I hope when we do this, because we have many corporate sectors coming us and look after our project, you know, I hope it will expand in a sense that yes, you can cater for the intelligence, higher intelligent autism. They can do housekeeping, they can do bookkeeping, they can do simple admin work. Private sector normally have this kind of preference of it's easier to maintain. I can't blame them, you know. It's easier to have an intelligent person to do this, whereas if you need this, you have to have shadows, you have to have supervisor to look after them, you know. But then again, it's if you do this, you're helping them, you know. You're helping them. I hope it will expand.
Being a parent with an autistic child, we asked Mr. Adli about his perspective on raising autistic children.
Well, my thought is this. The subject of taking care of our child is a must. Everybody has to take care of their kids, you know. But coming to them, you need to work on their future. You have to let go. One day you have to let him go, you know. So instead of actually pampering them, you know, it doesn't help him. In the long run, the thing is, as I said, we live and we die. So what's going to happen when we die? Who's going to take care of him? So the parents needs to actually get them to learn to be independent now. So yes, you can pamper, but to a certain extent, the parents must get them to be independent. How? As I said, finding jobs is impossible, and they can't do resume, can they? They can't do resume. They can't apply for jobs. So who's going to take care of this? The parents has to play their part. They have to take action, you know. If they don't, who else is going to do it? If you send him to school, probably 6 hours, you have another, 18 hours? So what are you going to do? So it's important for parents to plan. Rather than sit back, you plan for the future. You know your kids is this intelligent, you know your kids is having certain level of degree of intelligence, so what are you going to do about it? Hopeless, yes, but look at him. I almost throw up the towel already. I almost done that, you know. I almost done that. But then again, if I throw out the towel, who's going to do it? Who's going to do it for him? You know, the government has so many things to do, and you're spending most of your time with them, so you have to think of a way to actually secure the future. Find ways and means, you know. As I said, for them, you have to find one talent. Talent could be small little things, but parents need to notice that. Expand from that. Expand from that.
Since the Autism Cafe Project mainly focuses on catering foods and beverages, our group decided to support them by helping the CSR by catering meals and sending them to the local food bank to be given to poor and homeless people, so we can help them by spreading awareness about the cafe and autism in general. This documentary has completely changed my perspective about autism. Before this, I've always told myself to stay away from them. However, after hearing the hardship that went through by Mr. Adli on making his son independent, I realized that many autistic people need our help to build their social skills. So, I hope that after watching this documentary, everyone, including myself, will start interacting with them and, if possible, make friends with them.
So from this project we did, I have learned that it is very important for us to make the society that autism and other gifted people can easily join, because nowadays that we as a people don't accept them. In some company, for example, company doesn't accept the gifted people because they are not able to manage the job rather than the normal people. So that we need to deeply understand the gifted people, and we need to see what we have to do, and we need to understand how we can approach them.
I learned a lot after meeting Mr. Ali and his son. It changed my views and opinions on autistic people. It made me realize how autistic people can do things that we do. It will take them a longer time, but they can do it. It also made me realize how people often take things for granted. I hope people will not discriminate autistic kids after watching this documentary.
First of all, I would like to thank all my group members for helping me complete this project, and for Ms. Shivani for giving us advice on how to solve our problems. Through this project, I was able to meet face-to-face with all the autistic individuals and their parents. Their parents have told me a lot of heartbreaking stories and hardships that they have to go through. This has encouraged me to help them convey their wish, which is to help the autistic individuals to live normally in the current society.
After meeting with Mr. Adli and the autistic kids at the cafe, I realized that people with autism are just the same as everyone else. The only difference is that they have to face a couple more challenges in their daily lives. So I believe, as a collective society, it is our responsibility not just to take care of them, but also to accommodate them, provide them a place within society so that they are able to fit in, contribute to said society, and also live independently.
Firstly, I would like to thank Ms. Shivani for this wonderful opportunity, and also my group members for this great experience. I have learned that how hard life is. You don't just give up and keep moving forward. For example, the boys that worked in the Autism Project Cafe are 90% diagnosed with autism, but somehow they still do something which is actually beneficial for their future and themselves. They worked and they earned wages on their own too. Furthermore, one of them even worked in an actual restaurant after almost a year of training in the Autism Project Cafe.
First of all, I would really like to thank Ms. Shivani for giving us the opportunity to participate in this project, and also to my group members for giving their very best to make sure that we finish our assignment perfectly. Secondly, I never knew anything about autism before I started to involve myself in this project. For me, autism is just a disease, maybe quite similar with Down syndrome, or maybe not. But now, I'm very proud of myself because I'm actually spreading awareness of autism. Thank you.